Used to dribble the rock down the block in 94, shoot the courts out. When Killer Wayne brought that Porsche out, I had the illest jump shot, so he bet all his money on me. 12 years old with all the honeys on me. Patrick Ewing's on, I kept the fresh kicks. Take a nigga out his Jordans if the motherfuckers fit. They fit, so I'm back up the block, fucking with the homies, trying to teach them how to slap box.
Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Pretty surprised to only be doing my second imaginary author sent, as I just haven't gotten around to getting my next bottle. But I'm pretty positive that Falling Into the Sea is going to be next spring or summer. I love that fragrance. It's a high-end, fresh and fruity scent. But a few months back, or a few weeks back, I was on Facebook, and Daver from Fragrance Bros, shout out to him for putting me onto this, posted a picture of this. And I was really surprised that there was a new imaginary author scent that I hadn't heard about. So I blind bought it. Blind bought it without thinking through it at all. And basically I learned that a store called Makis was the only stockist of this. They sent us a collaboration with the store and Josh Meyer, the owner of the brand and Parfumé, and he created City on Fire. Unfortunately, there were only 30 ml bottle sizes left when I was on the site. And at first I was a little bummed, but I really do like that they have 30 mLs of imaginary authors fragrances on the site. Price-wise, same deal as regular ones, but the 60 mLs go for $85 and the 30 mLs for a very reasonable $55. And so I did indeed purchase a 30 ml, which got me probably within a week, and almost fell down my incinerator, by the way. I was in the hall unwrapping the bubble wrap and it flew out and it almost slid down the incinerator chute. Somehow it sat on the lip, so I didn't lose it, thank God. Now, you guys probably know imaginary authors, the theme sort of is that these fragrances represent a book created by an imaginary author. And it's unbelievably ingenious and innovative. And the backstory on this fake author and novel, quote, a brilliantly dark graphic novel, A City on Fire is the story of two matchmakers. Rupert literally fabricates matches in a factory on the waterfront, while Francis writes a dating column for the city's newspaper. Both are recluses who haunt the night shadows, observing clandestine activities from afar but never partaking. That changes one fortuitous evening when they are both witness to the same high-profile murder and are forced to come together as an unlikely vigilante pair in order to save their own names. Actually sounds really interesting. I think I would like to read a book like that. Imaginary authors developed this fragrance exclusively for Makis, a modern menswear retailer focused on forward concepts and clean classics in Portland's Lower Burnside neighborhood. Now, the notes on this one are cade oil, spikenard, cardamom, clearwood, dark berries, labdanum, and burnt match. Now, as far as your presentation goes, no box. There is a match there, as you can see, a little swirly pattern, which I think is supposed to be smoke. A City on Fire. You've got some the notes on the back, of course, and a pretty good atomizer, as most imaginary author scents will have pretty good atomizers. And guys, what I get out of this is just this beautiful, soft, burnt, and smoky, sweet fragrance with some dark berries, and for me, stone fruit in the base. And off the top, this reminded me of another fragrance that sort of has the burning theme, and that's D.S. Indurga's Burning Barbershop, which I've also reviewed. The problem that I had with that scent, though, was that all I really got out of it was sort of this burnt fragrance with not much else. And what Josh did here is sort of, he took that burning city theme and made it his own and put that beautiful imaginary author spin on it, so that out the bottle it's really dark and smoky, and it does have that burnt match labdanum thing going on, but under it you can smell the fruit and the sweetness of that fruit, and you're also going to get some cade and cardamom, and it starts to become very pleasant. I would refer to this almost as a burnt gourmand, and I really enjoy it, and it does have that gorgeous imaginary author's DNA. All the scents sort of in the base are very similar, but different. you can tell they're imaginary author scent, but it's not repetitive. It's not like a Subway sandwich where they all taste the same. Performance on this one, normal imaginary author's performance. Great longevity for me and great projection. Far above average on both. As far as who would be able to wear this, I think certainly men and women alike. Either you sort of like this scent or you don't. To me, it's a great night out scent. Maybe a bit too much to wear to work, but great for nights out and weekends. It's a great casual fragrance. I think it really endears itself to colder weather, and I really can't wait to put it in my cold weather rotation. If you didn't want this for whatever reason and you're looking for substitutes, I'll give you two that sort of does what this does, but to me not as well. The first is the aforementioned Burning Barbershop, which to me is just all burnt in smoke. There's not, what that was supposed to be is a classic barbershop aftershave scorched in a fire, and I don't really get any of the classic aftershave. I just get the fire. But the other one I would recommend to you is a fragrance, also another indie fragrance, actually all three are indie fragrances, is one called Incensed by Smell Bent. That one is also very dark and smoky. Someone who was trying to sell you this fragrance would say that at $55 or $85, this is a fucking steal. It is as much art as it is a wearable fragrance, and you can't put a price on art, but certainly if you were to, $55 and $85 is pretty acceptable. I would say someone trying to not convince you to buy this might say that it's too hard to wear a scent, and that it's not the most practical pick in the imaginary author's lineup. I would also say that this isn't a beginner fragrance. It's more intermediate in terms of who might enjoy this. I'm going to give this fragrance an 8 out of 10, 2 points off. First, I still wish, and I'm going to keep harping on this until the day it comes, I wish it would come with a box, even if they just bump the price up a smidgen. And I think the box should be those fake books that people keep flasks in. Actually, 8 and Bob did that with their fragrance. And the title and author should be different for the corresponding fragrances, so each fragrance looks like a different book. I would love that. Finally, I don't know if I would say this is the most original fragrance that I've ever smelled. Now, it's definitely done better than a lot of what's out there, but it does remind me of some of the other scents that I mentioned. With that said, this really is just a beautiful fragrance. It's a great dark fruit scent, which is really tough to pull off. I've never seen it done before. And what I like about the line is that Josh doesn't shy away from a challenge. And he's very good at making complex scents wearable and affordable. So you guys know how much I love imaginary authors and how much I love Josh as a perfumer, and he's a great guy as well. And I just continue to be impressed by what he puts out there. So there you go. If you have any questions about this, feel free to email me. And I'll see you again next week with another video. I'm Maximilian.
Before these corny niggas kept the stickers under their brims, it was a little nigga in Compton, 5'10". He was dope as a motherfucker. I wanted to be like him. 1 for the Impalas, 2 for the Gold D's, 3 for the switches, middle finger.